All right, everybody. This is Simple Dan. Basically, this is some pictures. These are some pictures that I took at the Come and Take It rally at the Alamo. Apparently, a couple of members of Open Carry Texas were arrested for legally carrying their long arms, and that spurred a giant protest. You know, those guys that formed around C.J. Grisham up in Temple. Basically have formed a statewide movement where we basically legally carry our weaponry and are basically flexing our rights to open carry long guns in the state of Texas. Now, 3 people were arrested in San Antonio for legally carrying, and the police do not have the right to do that shit. So Open Carry Texas formed up and said, we're going to do a massive protest at the Alamo. There's a picture of me right there with the Alamo reenactor. Yeah, the camera adds about 50 pounds. But basically, we all showed up in force there, and it was pretty impressive. Chief McManus, that Praetorian thug, basically said anybody carrying a weapon is going to be arrested. And then Texas Land Commissioner Patterson stepped in and said, no, I'm in charge of the monuments. You can't arrest anybody here, you know, this and that. And so we went there, and we showed up, and my best estimates were there was well over 1,000 people there. I'm guessing the better part of 1,500 people there. And to best of my knowledge, nobody got arrested. There was no shootings. In fact, the only rude asses that were there that actually, you know, bothered to show up were, you know, the people with the brooms. They had like Obama jerseys on and shit. And they were like sweeping up the, quote, sweeping up the redneck trash. And then apparently Moms Demand Action for Communism or some ridiculous crap like that was like, oh, we're going to show up and counter protest and this and that. Yeah, all 5 of them showed up. And they really showed us, didn't they? No, they didn't. They were barely even noticeable. There's these guys in blue with the blue bicycle helmets looking like a bunch of fairies running around with brooms, sweeping up the redneck trash and all this stuff like that. Well, it was basically a bunch of crap. It was a farce. Afterwards, you know, we had a good time, and there was a lot of camaraderie there. People were polite. People had their kids there. People were waving flags, saying, come and take it. I personally shook hands with Alex Jones, Stewart Rhodes, C.J. Grisham. For those of you who don't know who C.J. Grisham is, and anybody watching this video's gotta fucking know who C.J. Grisham is. He's a guy, he's an Army veteran who's got about 20 years in the service, and he was wrongfully arrested for carrying openly a rifle, which is absolutely legal in Texas. He was arrested for it. Rudely displaying a weapon. There's no law on the books, to the best of my knowledge, rudely displaying a weapon. There's no law on the Texas Penal Code that even, you know, that has anything like that. So it was a false arrest. There's a guy on here named Show Me Baby. A lot of you guys know him. He's got some videos of the stuff. It's great. I got a chance to meet him and hang out with him for the first time. So he and I have been talking since about 2009. And I got the chance, after 4 long years, I finally got a chance to meet that guy. I met Stewart Rhodes. He remembered me. I should have got some pictures with these guys, though, but my camera, or excuse me, my smartphone was giving me hell. It was like running out of batteries and wouldn't take a charge. So I had, you know, whatever. It's neither here nor there. But at any rate, it was a great time had by all. We made a statement. Those Praetorians were standing back there, not doing anything, even though the Chief Praetorian, the head of the Praetorian Guard, Chief McManus, was basically like, oh yeah, we're going to arrest everybody. And they got a couple of snapshots of him. He didn't look very happy. He didn't look very happy at all to see all these people saying, fuck you, we're going to carry our guns anyway. Because here's the truth of the matter is that we proved, and we will continue to prove, that we actually have the power. We can tell them no and mean it. That's the whole idea behind the right to keep and bear arms, is that when the government starts to do something that we don't like, we can say no and mean it. That's it. That's all. You know, a lot of people think, well, you just want to, you know, the brain dead idiots, and you know, there's like, well, you just want to kill everybody. No, we don't. There were 1,500 people there, and not a single shot was fired. Nobody got into a fight. There was nothing. People were respectful, because what these fucking communist, libtard, fucking Democrat pieces of shit don't want you to know is that an armed society is a polite society, and we proved it. We proved it on Saturday. Don't ever let anybody tell you any different. 1,500 armed people massed together at the Alamo, and not a single fight broke out, not a single shot was fired, and the rude asses were the anti-gunners. Those are the people. In fact, there's a guy, Show Me Baby got into it with one of those broom guys. I think the same guy, he was, supposedly sweeping out the redneck trash. Well, he's the one that got swept out. But at any rate, I was they basically required us to have an open chamber or to have one of those red straws in the chamber to prove that there's no rounds in there and stuff like that. They asked that of us as a courtesy. And I'm happy to comply with that. I put the red straw in there, and I was putting it back on my shoulder, and one of those broom faggots, he bumped into me. He's like, sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you and your gun. And I just kind of looked at him like, have a nice day, And the moms demand action for communist bullshit. Yeah, they were there, like I said, all 5 of them. And on their website, on their pathetic, shitty little website, they're like, we stood up to the come and take a crowd and to the gun owners in open carry Texas, and we stood up to them, and it was a big victory. Whatever. As you people can see from the pictures, like I said, there had to be over 1,000, as many as 1,500. The news media is saying several hundred, and I think that is a vast understatement. Both the Alamo and Travis Parks were full. I mean, to the point where on the stone benches, there were no places to sit. People were standing shoulder to shoulder. It was full, So it was a great event. I hope you guys... man, for those of you who were there, awesome. It's amazing. It was totally, totally amazing. So, at any rate. Okay, folks. God save the Republic. Hope you guys doing great.